Yesterday we talked about what kind of life form is the basis on which we can create the conditions to be born into Devachen. And that we said that anybody who has the capacity to turn their mind towards the positive, they have the capacity, they have the potential to be. Then next, the third, we are discussing why we need to create these conditions. What is the purpose of creating those causes to be born in Devachen? What is the real benefit? What is the real purpose to be born in Devachen? In Wendo, the Amitabha Sutra and Chimengada, it is said there's lots of benefits, there's lots of needs. What are the those person, samsaric beings who is not entered into any path, we can be because if we are born there, then we don't have to be reborn into negative realms or the lower realms, and we will not have to endure any kind of sufferings, kind of gross sufferings if we are born there. And there, even if we kind of put together all the entertainments of the world together, that will be nothing compared to the enjoyment and the great life we will have in Devachen, because there are the miracles of meeting the fully enlightened beings, and we are in their company. And here in this, generally, we might sometimes have some positive or happy times, but that is very temporary and not permanent. But if we are born in Devachen, then we will have those kind of prosperous and completely positive life until we enter enlightenment. The most important is the most important reason why we need to be reborn in Devachen is this. If we are born into Devachen, if we can be born into Devachen, there will be very little obstacles to attain enlightenment, and all the positive conditions to get enlightenment, and there we will get all the experiences, or the good experiences, and it will increase very quickly and abundantly. There will be less obstacles of outer and inner, what are the outer obstacles and what are the inner obstacles of the path. Outer obstacles are, for instance, obstacles that's based on our body, to become old, to become kind of our kind of elements in our body become kind of less, and so therefore getting sick. We cannot get sick there, and we will not die. And also the poverty, problems of poverty, and having less and free from kind of trying to create health. This is not there. And then that there is no difficulties of we have lots of difficulties of helping our families and relatives, and all those things are not there in Devachin. And also inner obstacles or inner problems, there the self-centeredness, and looking at the too much attachment to ourselves and the self of the person and self of the self of the all the phenomena, and too much attachment to our near and dear ones, and too much sectarianism, and too much negative emotions like too much attachment and aversion and things like those. Yeah. And not knowing the life after life, if there is life after life, or what will be. So all these things will not be there in Devachin. So therefore there is no and then there are some obstacles that is based on the body and mind together. That is five obstacles of meditation, like distraction and too much distraction, and then the too much dullness, and too much stupor, or kind of. So all these, the mind and body become too much under the power of negativity. These things will not be there. So therefore we cannot create new negative karma, and also we cannot get ripening the old negative karmas we might have accumulated before. So all these things will not be there in. So then outer obstacles, like all the elementals, like fire, earthquake, river, all this negativity, and also the problems of wild animals and dacoits, and all these kind of things will not be there, and also the form. There is nothing which kind of objects which brings negativity in us. So there's less negativity or and then lots of positive conditions. The inner positive condition is in other words, unless you are at the kind of the last stage of Bodhisattva's path, uh, uh, so you don't have to die unless you, and then you can see things, across the time and distance, and also in one morning you can go and make offerings to countless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and can receive teachings from them. You can actually travel to limitless Buddha realms and in Dewachen, all this kind of the place to live, the food, anything that you need, you just have to think about them, and they are there, they arrive. You don't have to make any efforts to get them. So therefore, all those things, all the material things, does not become an obstacle to accumulate or to trade the path. They are there anyway, so you don't have attachment as well as aversion created through cultivating those things. In the same way, impermanence, selflessness, and all these things. These kind of understandings naturally arise in ourselves without any efforts. And everybody looks like the Buddha or the Chakravartin king, like 32 major signs on the body. Like the Buddha Amitabha and Bodhisattva Sharizik and Vajrapani and all the great Bodhisattvas coming from different realms, and also the Arhats. All these are always there. They are visitors as well as they are always kind of staying there. So therefore, the teachings and positive kind of activities of the Dharma is continuously happening. Even the birds sing the songs of the Dharma, sounds of the Dharma, and the rivers as well kind of resound the song, the sound of Dharma, of all the kind of emptiness, impermanence, and all other Dharma teachings come out of the nature. The trees in Dewachen, the flower kind of beds, the palaces and heavenly kind of damsels doesn't distract us, but they make us remember or bring mindfulness of positive things. They all create positive experience in us. So therefore, everything, the whole environment brings right conditions. So therefore, great positive conditions, outer as well as inner conditions. So therefore, the paths, our path can kind of can be trod very quickly and in a very strong way. So therefore, it's very, very different from any other realm. These things are said by the Buddha in his sutras. So now these are the kind of this is a quotation from the sutra. In this Devachen, there is no poverty and there is no kind of degeneration. Most of our problems are that I don't have enough, or what I have that I lose. This kind of sufferings are the main sufferings. Most of our sufferings are poverty or that loss. So this will not be there in Devachen. So therefore, Buddha said that the Buddha said that Ananda in Devachen is like the God's realm there. So there is no problem of searching for food. Every he's reading through the Sutra of Amitabha, so explaining what we have just discussed. In Devachen, there's nothing called negativity. There is no negative thoughts. There are many kind of quotations from the sutra, but the essence is what we have already discussed. These are the reasons why the Buddha Amitabha and great masters, great bodhisattvas like Avalokiteshvara, we are with them all the time in their presence, and so therefore under their guidance then we will be able to tread the path very quickly. That's why. If we ask we make an examination or clear some doubts, some people say, they said that in the Devachen they cannot be there cannot be any samsaric beings. There cannot be any Sharvakayana or Pratyeka type person, because it is said in the sutra that everybody there is bodhisattvas who can be who can become enlightened in just one lifetime. It is said like this in the sutra, and also in the in the kind of prayer to be reborn into Devachen, prayer written by Nagarjuna or said to be written by Nagarjuna. Then it said that all the people who are born in Devachen have all these 5 kind of powers of foreseeing, and 5 kind of eyes. That is said like this. So how do you clear this doubt? Why it is said like this? So to explain this quotation is, so those beings born in the Devachen, they live countless number of years. And they have a very special teacher or guide, and they have a prosperous kind of friends or Dharma friends. They have a great diligence and also very natural capacities. All they are born there. So they have all these right conditions. Therefore, all the positive things very naturally increase or develop in each of the persons who are born there. So therefore, because of the strong aspiration, unless you want to be reborn into a impure realm in order to help others, because it is such a kind of a long life, therefore it is certain that you will become enlightened in that very lifetime, because you live so long. Unless you want to yourself by your own will want to be reborn for a short time to a kind of impure world in order to help other people. That's why it is said like. That's why it is said that it's in just one life you can be enlightened. It doesn't take more than one life. It's not that there is no one there who is not unenlightened. It's not like that. But there are lots of kind of ordinary person. In the Devachen, the Bodhisattvas, Sarvakas, Pratyeka Buddhas, the humans, and gods. And then there, the Buddha Shakyamuni giving teachings to all these people mentioned above. That is also can be part of the Devachan. Then why Nagarjuna said that everybody in that realm has all the positive, the four seeing and five eyes and things like that. Why they are there? It's because of the environment, they get those qualities. Some of the qualities they get there because of their positive causes, karma created, and then some other positive qualities will be developed there. Will be developed while you are there. So therefore, you can say that all these qualities are there. So the five eyes, the eyes of the flesh eyes, wisdom eyes, the Buddha's eyes, and all those kind of things. And some of them you get there because of the positive karma from the beginning, from the birth. Some of the powers like Buddha's eye and wisdom eye, you kind of can develop there very quickly because of all the right conditions there. And some say that in Devachan you cannot have attachment to experience the five luxuries, the luxury of form and taste and like that. So in one of the in one sutra or one place, it is said that each of the people born there would be will be entertained by thousands of devis or heavenly damsels, and if that is the case, then maybe there is a kind of desire or the understanding is this, that if your mind is deluded, if your mind is negative, then all these kind of objects objects of desire, like a nice form, a nice taste, and nice kind of touch, can bring negative emotions like attachment and things like that. But if your mind is not not kind of deluded or not negative, then even if you enjoy the five senses or the sensual pleasures, even then you may not get attached. For instance, even if you can kind of they are kind of you can be touching a very kind of soft, nice kind of something, but you don't need to be attached to that. There is some quotation. It is said something like, even if you look at the form of the Buddha with some strong hatred, even that hatred later can become a source of liberation. Therefore, because of the power of the Buddha, so all these kind of entertainments you get are the emanations or the power or the blessing of the Buddha. So therefore, those kind of positive entertainments or positive, sense kind of sense pleasures or whatever nice things, not necessarily create negative emotions like desire and attachment in the minds of the people who are born there. So the real reason is that all the outer, inner, positive conditions to tread the path is there, and especially there is very little or no obstacles, and then there is always the Buddha as your teacher. You can see them, you can receive teachings from them, and there are a great many last stage bodhisattvas, and so therefore you can attain the Buddhahood or go through the path of enlightenment very swiftly and get enlightened very strongly. That's the main reason that we pray to be born into Dewachen. If I keep on going through this, you may all go to sleep, so I'll tell something else. If you look from the scientific point of view, last time I tried to introduce some environmental issues through science. So therefore, I'm trying to a little bit kind of getting some kind of. I've never really studied science, but I got a little kind of interested in this. And so when we talk about science, maybe I might give you some wrong information. That's not impossible, because I'm not really very kind of well studied in science. Whether you talk from the scientific point of view, from the Buddhist point of view, this world, there's kind of there's a limitless number of worlds, or even the the galaxy, the Milky Way. There's so many kind of countless suns or solar systems in one of our own kind of galaxy. How this happened, how they they are remaining, and how they disappear, we don't know very clearly. We don't even know very clearly about our own galaxy. Maybe we don't know, more than about 15% of the whole situation. The universe, that's is talking from the scientific point of view, there are kind of millions, billions of them, but they don't know. They can't say exactly. It's very big and very unimmeasurable. So when we talk about Devachen, it's not impossible to be there also. Some people say that the Devachen is something only our mind, and it's not there. They some people think that there's nothing called Devachen. It's just a kind of the mind only. It is said that it is somewhere there, from the west, from here, many countless kind of worlds away. Of course, maybe we cannot see with our eyes, maybe, which is impure anyway. There are lots of things in the world also that you cannot see, but it is there. There are things that we cannot actually see with our eyes, but we know that its effect happens. And so therefore, the scientists kind of study on these effects, and through that they come to understand that there is something. And in the same way, we talk about like Mount Meru. Some said that because that kind of Mount Meru that has been described in the books, they could not find. So therefore, they said that this Mount Meru is not there. Some say like that. There's some books coming from Tibet. They've kind of written a very critical things about how wrong the Buddhist way, cosmology is. But there is something we can think about also. The Mount Meru is something that is kind of from the Indian. Sometimes it may be that it's maybe this Mount Kailash is the basis of Mount Meru that's in the mythology of India. It is said that from the Ishwar or the Shiva's kind of Jatayu, Shiva's hair, came the Mount through the Mount Meru. Then the Ganges River comes from that. The Ganges River comes from Mount Meru, it is said by the Hindus mythology. Either the Mount Meru is the Kailash mountain, or the Mount Meru has to be something around there. Some astrological way of looking it. Mount Meru on the top and the Kumeru below that. And the Kumeru then are the hell realm, Arctic and Antarctic. And then Arctic and Antarctic. Maybe they're talking about the Mount Meru could be the Arctic, and Antarctic is the Kumeru. These are some astrological explanation. There are lots of debate about whether the Mount Kailash is Mount Meru or not. The Satya Pandita said this is there is something called the 9 mountains. After 9 mountains, there are some debates about these things. Turkestan. In Turkestan, even now, the Mount Kailash is called Black Mountain. Maybe there is a story, but this snow mountain is called Black Mountain by the Turkestans. What is said in Abhidhamma Kosha, if we look from the Abhidhamma Kosha's kind of measurement, then the world cannot be it cannot be flat, although it was usually thought to be flat. But if you make measurements according to the Abhidhamma Kosha, then it has to be round, but not because now that kind of 70% or 75% of a river, and so these are also something very near to the understanding of the science. When people talk about the golden ground, then it may be not necessary that it is actually kind of made of only gold. There are like places like Swarnadeep, but it is not. It's not really gold. It's called, golden kind of plains or the golden mountains. It's not really kind of. So when we say the golden ground, maybe it's not really kind of a flat thing which is made of metal. Sometimes we say that the essence of the earth is gold, so maybe can be taken from that point of view also. When we talk about the 4 continents, when we talk they are kind of the continents and things like that, the world, creation of the world, the way the world is or the universe is. I think it is important to kind of compare what is written in Kala Chakra, what is written in the Abhidhamma Kosha, and what is written or understood through astrology. So all this, if we combine, then maybe we can understand much more clearly. For instance, we talk about the 9 kind of planets. So it kind of so the calculations kind of come together. All this, although they've in the early times they didn't have this kind of satellites or very powerful kind of instruments to see, but maybe they are kind of through meditation and things like that, calculation. But all these calculations of the days and times and how the planets move, this really comes together. So it is something quite interesting. And sometimes we say the Mount Meru we cannot see. Then we think that what is written in the Abhidhamma Kosha was wrong. That is a little bit too simple, it seems. There are, I think, things that we can look at and look from different angles as well. And something else, some people they say that it's not right to say that in Devachen it is very easy to kind of progress on the path. It is not possible. It can't be true, because in Devachen there is no suffering. So therefore, there is no suffering. So therefore, there is no renunciation. There can't be any renunciation, and when there is no renunciation, then there is no need to kind of to strive or to work towards enlightenment. In other sutras, it is said that it is much better to practice in an impurum like ours than practicing long time the Shila and patience in the purums, because there it's very easy to do that, and here it is not easy to do that. So therefore, but there is nothing wrong. So if you are born into a kind of impure realm, you think that in our world where there is more negativity, so therefore, in our world, if there is less suffering, then there will be no incentive to practice path. because actually our world, there is kind of with negative karma we are born here. So therefore, if we have a less problem, then we might be more distracted. But it is not same in the pure realms, because in the pure realms we are born there with positive karma, and then you can actually see, all the negative realms, and you can also uh, go to all the, you can receive lots of teachings, and you are very clear, your mind is very clear. So therefore it's not kind of your mind is not deluded. And also the teachers there, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, always talk and teach all the, everything. So it's not unclear, it's not unaware of negativity. There is lots of opportunities to really study this samsara or problems of the samsara. So therefore, even if you are not there, you can actually see the negative so therefore you have no you don't have this kind of distraction, you don't have laziness, you don't have unclarity, you don't have kind of this and you can see things very clearly. So therefore all the positive qualities are there. It's not like in a God's realm of kind of desire God's realm, or some God's realm where you don't see things very clearly outside where you actually experience. So it's very different. So therefore both sides, you see very clearly the problems of the negativity, negative emotions and things like that, because you see all other realms, but you don't actually have that, you don't feel that. So therefore you also have the experience of the freedom from these negative emotions and things like that. So therefore you can actually tread the path much more quickly. If you are born at a higher realm in the samsara, like a certain kind of God's realm, then then it will be kind of hindering us to see, to be renounced, get the renunciation experience. But it's not same in Devachen, because there it's very kind of very clear. The mind is so clear, and you see all other worlds as well. So therefore it's very different. It is not an obstacle. It's not a kind of, it doesn't bring distraction, or it doesn't bring a kind of laziness or anything like that. So why it is said that it is more positive to observe right conduct in a negative realm than in a pure realm. that is said. It's not that it is not it's not about that the purums are is very easy. In the in impurums it's very difficult to observe the right conduct. So therefore, if you can do that there, it is much more stronger. So therefore, but it is not that the purums and the positive kind of actions is less positive. It's not like that. But it's not that the right conduct in Devachen is worse. Yesterday we meditated for 5 minutes and people start to sleep. So maybe today we do for 3 minutes. Out of the 4 reasons or 4 causes to be born into Devachen, this second we will meditate on. That is to accumulate merit and to purify the defilements. There's something to think about. In front of you, you feel the presence of Amitabha. To the right side of him is Avalokiteshvara, and the left side is the Vajrapani. Then we kind of feel regret to all the negative deeds that we have done before, and we feel that we would not like to do it again, all this negativity. And then because of this way of purification, then the Amitabha and Bodhisattvas become really pleased with us, and they smile, and from that smile lights radiate from their smile and from their face, smiling face, and then all our body, speech and mind defilements are purified, and we receive the blessing or the energy of the pure Buddha's body, speech and mind. And then we recite the we recite the Devachan prayer, short Devachan prayer, and then meditate for 3 minutes.